Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out. Today we have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. But before getting into that, I want to say that I hope everybody had a great Christmas if you celebrate it. And even if you don't celebrate, I hope you got to spend some quality time with your family, friends, and loved ones. And I want you to let me know down in the comments below if you happen to receive any PlayStation related gifts. Let me know if you woke up to a PlayStation 5 under the Christmas tree, or if you actually got somebody a PS5. Let me know down in the comments below. I'll certainly be interested to see what you guys say there. But we're going to get right into the first topic here, which talks about January 2023's PlayStation Plus Essential lineup and how we had the 3 games that we can expect leaked out once again from the reliable Billy Bilcon from Dia Labs. And this is a reliable insider who is known for putting out leaks regarding PlayStation Plus accurately. So January's lineup is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, that is a PS5 and PS4 title. Axiom Verge 2 is a PS5 and PS4 title. And then you're also looking at Fallout 76, which is a PS4 title. So let me know what you think of January's lineup. I think it's pretty cool that they're giving out Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order when they are, because obviously in March we're looking at Jedi Survivor, which is a game I'm really excited about. So if you haven't played Jedi Fallen Order, I highly recommend it. It's a really great game. So moving on to the next topic, we have an update on Forspoken. The demo has been out for a couple of weeks now, and there's been a lot of feedback coming from the players, and it seems that Luminous Productions has been taking in that feedback, and they put out a tweet on the official Forspoken Twitter account, and they say it's amazing to see so many of you enjoying your time in Athia with the Forspoken demo on PS5. We are listening to all of your feedback and can confirm that the full game will have increased text size, button mapping, and will fix the HDR issues that some players are experiencing. Now, I think this is good because even with my short time playing the Forspoken demo, I immediately noticed that there was something strange going on with the lighting of the game and the HDR. I saw quite a few people pointing that out because it just, sometimes the game looked really good and then other times it just looked really, really bad, and something very strange was going on with the lighting. And yeah, I mean, I'm assuming there's going to be even more than that they're planning to fix and kind of adjust and fine-tune before the release. So again, let me know if maybe you are somebody who's happy to hear this, if you're planning on picking up Forspoken at launch, or if it's a game that you're maybe going to pick up at another time, or you're going to wait for the reviews. But moving on to the next topic, we have a pretty significant update for Gran Turismo 7 and the fact that it's actually not currently in development for PC. This is reading from PlayStation Universe, where they say Kazunori Yamauchi has denied reports that a PC version of Gran Turismo 7 is in development during an interview with Dengenki Online. Previously, it had been reported that Poloyphony Digital was considering a PC version of the critically acclaimed PS4 and PS5 racing simulation title, but Yamauchi-san was asked about it and said that he's not doing anything about a PC edition. Quote, "That's not true regarding a PC version. I replied as a developer, it's not that I haven't considered all the possibilities. That means that the possibility is not zero. Simply, if you ask me, are you doing anything concrete? I am not doing anything. There is nothing to talk about." End quote. So to me, this seems like a pretty direct and firm answer coming from Kazunori Yamauchi that they're not doing anything with PC. He seems to be clarifying that when he mentioned PC previously, he was simply saying that it's a possibility and the door is open, but right now they're not working on it. I don't see any reason why they would lie about this. I mean, it's pretty clear by now that Sony is embracing PC in a pretty significant way, and I have no doubt that at some point Gran Turismo will make its way to PC, but I'm glad that he clarified this, because who knows how many people were going to kind of sit back and say, well, there we go, confirmation that Gran Turismo 7 is going to be coming to PC, so, you know, I'll just sit back and wait for it to happen, and just to find out that actually, no, those reports weren't true. It's not coming to PC, at least not anytime soon. So I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on this. This is a pretty clear answer we're getting, but you know, if we end up hearing anything more in the coming weeks or months, I'll be sure to update you guys and let you know. Moving on to the next topic though, we have some really good news for the PS5 in Japan, and I think it's just good news, generally speaking, for the PS5 and PS5 stock specifically. They say here from Push Square, PS5's performance in Japan was meme-worthy for a good while, but fresh from claiming it's resolved the system's stock issues, the console is on fire of late. To clarify, it's still a million miles away from the substantially more successful Nintendo Switch. That's not even up for discussion, but it's still doing much, much better, which is worth pointing out. For the period spanning December 12th through December 18th, the PlayStation maker sold over 70,000 PS5s to consumers, which is a very respectable number. To put it into perspective though, Nintendo shifted over 170,000 Switch systems, so Sony's still got a long way to go, but this is not the complete stomping that we've been accustomed to. There are signs that software sales are improving as well. For example, the big new release of the week, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, sold best on PS5 with 54,500 units. In fact, all three versions of the game did well. The PS4 edition sold 53,481 units, with the Switch port managing 48,527 units. A pretty good result for Square Enix. Sony recently promised that it had resolved PS5's stock issues and said that it would increase supply to its native Japan. That's certainly being reflected in the numbers, and it's nice to see the platform holder enjoying a little more success in its domestic territory of late. Let's hope they maintain these numbers moving forward. And I think that this is not just something that is exclusive to Japan. I think it was just important for Sony because, it is their native territory to really stress to their consumers there and to the market that they have finally corrected this issue. But we've been seeing the issue correcting itself throughout all the different regions in the past couple of months. And, make no mistake, 2023 is going to be a very big year for the PS5. And I think one of the reasons it's going to be a big year is not just because it's the third year of the generation, which is usually a peak year, but it's also going to be compounded by the fact that 2023 is seemingly going to be the first year since the launch of the PS5 where it's just going to be readily available to anybody who wants one. And that is something that is going to be worth paying attention to, I think. But moving to the next topic, we have a very interesting report from Insider Gaming. This is coming from Tom Henderson, and it was reported just a couple of days ago. And it says here that Sony doesn't view Xbox Game Pass as competition, sources claim. So they say here it's been claimed by Insider Gaming sources that Jim Ryan, CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, has implied that the company does not view Xbox Game Pass as competition, despite the company expressing concerns about Microsoft's proposed Activision Blizzard acquisition. One source, who wishes to remain anonymous because they couldn't speak about their knowledge of the information publicly, has said that Jim Ryan had an employee Q&A earlier this month where he talked about market competition. In response to a question about Xbox Game Pass, Jim Ryan reportedly said that, quote, "When we consider Xbox Game Pass, it seems to be getting lower in terms of Game Pass numbers. When we consider Game Pass, we've sold more PS5s in 2 years than they have gathered subscribers, and they've been doing that for 6 to 7 years," end quote. Ryan reportedly continued, quote, "We're just shy of 50 million subscribers and they are in the low 20s, but there's more work to do to grow that number," end quote. Ryan's reported comments are somewhat surprising when the company is currently battling Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which Sony argues is, quote, "bad for competition, bad for the gaming industry, and bad for gamers themselves," end quote. So I gotta say, first and foremost, I like what I'm hearing from Jim Ryan here. I say this as somebody who has always believed in the console business model. It's the one that I've supported, the one that I am a fan of, and I feel as though ever since Microsoft announced that they were going to acquire Activision Blizzard and Sony has been working with the regulatory bodies to try to get it blocked, we have seen Sony basically lack confidence, and they have seemingly been afraid to express any type of confidence in their market leadership, in what they do right, what they do well. And I can't blame them, as we've discussed ad nauseum. You can't blame Sony for doing what they need to do in this instance, but I've never doubted that internally Sony feels confident. They should. They are the leader. They've been doing a lot of things right, and I think it's true that they don't see Game Pass as competition, because if you read what Jim is saying here. We've sold more PS5s in 2 years than they've gathered subscribers, and they've been doing that for 6 to 7 years. I mean, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. He's pointing out that Microsoft has been at this Game Pass thing for a while now, and they're still not at that point where they're really starting to gain a large number of subscribers rapidly. Meanwhile, Sony is still finding success selling a large number of PS5 consoles rapidly. Now, obviously, people, as I said, are pointing to this and they're being like, yo, this seems really hypocritical of Jim Ryan. It seems really hypocritical of Sony. But come on, guys, let's just get down to it and make it clear that Sony is doing what they feel they need to do to protect their market leadership. And Sony does not expect anybody else to do that for them, nor do they expect anybody else to care. And make no mistake, if the roles were reversed, Microsoft would be doing the exact same thing. Sony can downplay Game Pass all day, every day, and they can express as much confidence in their console, in their business model, in their games, in their studios as they want. But the reality is, at the end of the day, having a competitor, that being Microsoft, that is worth trillions of dollars, that is now throwing around that money like it's nothing, such as $68 billion here, $7.5 billion there, and then even making these games exclusive to the platform, all in an effort to grow their, their service. Yeah, that's a threat to Sony. No matter how confident Jim Ryan wants to seem, no matter how confident Sony wants to seem, that is a threat. Does it mean that the threat has actually done anything yet, any damage? No, not necessarily, but that is why Sony is fighting this so hard, because they're trying to prevent potential damage from happening. And actually, I would say that some damage has been done in the form of what Microsoft did with ZeniMax and Bethesda. So, people are going to highlight this and make it seem like there's something seriously wrong with Sony and they're just lying and they're being disingenuous. But in reality, when it comes to the way that both Sony and Microsoft are behaving to regulators, they both have to be a little bit disingenuous, because neither company can just come out and say how they really feel, which is, yeah, we would like to terminate our competition. I think that this is where people are somewhat naive, and they want to believe that at the end of the day, these corporate entities, they don't just have one goal in mind, and that is to be dominant and to have minimal competition. That's just how it is. And so you could argue that, well, this is clearly showing that Sony is, they're just trying to deter competition. And look, say what you want. There's a reason why I said that, okay, Microsoft gets Bethesda and they have all these studios now. I think that's good enough. I think that's enough. Now I think Microsoft can actually really compete. There's a difference between that and, oh, so they got Bethesda and now they want all of Activision Blizzard. Yeah, to me, it's too much. It's too much. And it's like, look, Sony is in the lead. Yes, Sony has performed a lot better than Microsoft. Yes, but, to me, it's become clear that Microsoft doesn't want to stop. They're not going to stop, and they don't care what happens to Sony. So I do not fault Sony at all for taking the stance that they do against Activision Blizzard, but I also do not fault them for still trying, at least internally, to express confidence in their own business model and their own brand and the way they do things. But anyway, that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. Leave it a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.